Okay, so, good evening everyone. So, my name is Sugi Yamagawa, and today on VTubing my slow life hobbies in my 30s, we're here around the fire pit once again to cook up some grub. So, on tonight's docket, we're going to be making tomato soup. I actually have, well, I'm going to be making tomato soup and grilled cheese sandwiches. Primarily because, well, I have leftover bread from the BLT stream. And I was trying to think, okay, I have this bread. I need to use it. What should I use it for? And I actually been sitting on some grilled cheese recipe ideas that my supermarket sent me. Well, it's fine. I've been hanging on to this a while. And so, like, you know what? Let's do grilled cheeses. Then it's like, oh no. Grilled cheese. Okay, what do I like make with grilled cheese? Because I can't just do a stream with just grilled cheese. It's just not enough doing stuff. And tomato soup came up on my idea, and I found a real lovely recipe. The recipe is actually down below in the description. So yeah, this is what we're going to be doing. The game plan for tonight is to primarily focus on. Well, what's gonna happen is I'm gonna prep veg. I got some veg here. Veg. Then once the veg is prepped, we'll start making the tomato soup. And then once the tomato soup is made, then we'll transition over to making grilled cheese sandwiches. I'm gonna make two. I'm gonna like stuff myself silly to make two. So yeah. So that's just general overview of today's game plan. And, of course, we really can't have a proper campfire cooking stream without first onion. And particularly, red onion for today. Because when I was actually looking up recipes for tomato soup, the myth, the legend, the Gordon recommended red onions mostly because they're sweeter. So, I'm going to be dicing up a red onion here. Then after we get the red onion diced, we'll start preparing some other veg. But for the uninitiated around here, most of these streams start with onion dicing. Seems to be the most consistent aspect of my content in streams. But that's also because I'm a huge fan of onions. I'm an absolute incredible fan of onions. And recipes that utilize onion are more likely for me to say yes to them and be like, yes, this is what I want to, this is the thing I want to do. This is the thing I want to like make. And I have to say, my red onions from the supermarket were looking really rough. I'm really glad I found something. That's cooking pretty much, right? Yes, yes, Dad's old shop. You understand it, but also I do wish to give you congratulations on your model upgrade. I saw that last night, and I was like, oh yeah. Dad's old shop got an upgrade. And it looks nice, so good for you. Can't wait to see it on stream. And here we go. Now I have made an atrocious mess there. Okay. And then one of these days, I'm gonna master the art of slicing an onion without looking at my hands. Today is not that day. I'm getting close. Thanks, Lizzie was great. Gonna try to show it off a bit this weekend. Nice. I'm gonna look forward to that. I mean, generally my plans for this weekend are pretty open, but I am still on call for the weekend, so... But chances are, if you do it during the normal time, I should be free to stop by. I'm usually not on call like too far into the PM. I'm usually more on call like AM. Which was actually a big reason why I wanted to do the beer brewing stream on Memorial Day, was because that was like my only availability this whole week to do a morning stream. For now, my availability is strictly limited to the afternoons. It's actually been a while since I've had some red onion. Because I've been buying my onions from Costco, and I typically get the yellow onions. I've also bought like the white sweet onions, but those white sweet onions they haven't kept very well for me. Like they will start to mold, like they will mold. Geez, weather got your work busy, eh? Thankfully, no. Thankfully, no. I am on call. I'm actually still technically on call for the next 20 minutes, but the sweet thing about my occupation is when the weather's nice, I don't have too much work to do. But when things actually start getting hot, I'm not going to be... Like, if it was actually, like, 80 degrees or something right now, I would not be taking this risk. I would have to, like, schedule the stream till, like, 7, because that's when my on-call ends. But eventually the weather's going to really warm up, and it'll get real busy. We did have a brief period of busyness where we got just enough heat for people's ACs to turn on, and we found, like, dozens of dead ACs, which was actually very nice because the weather got hot enough for us to find them. And then it cooled down so that way we could actually get around to doing installs, because my company, because I work for a small HVAC company, and yeah, we can't like do 10 and, well, we can, honestly, doing more than 5 installs in a week is like really pushing us. Especially if we end up also having like service work to do. So, the weather, I mean, honestly, granted, I still can't believe we're still seeing like relatively like mild spring weather like this far into May where I'm at. This is unusual, and I am very happy with it. My pepper plants, the pepper plants may not be so happy about it, because they prefer warmer temperatures. But my brassicas, though, my brassicas are still happy. My peas are still happy, which, granted, I still have to... Which I did go through and harvest a whole bunch of my peas Saturday. But they're also due... They're more than due for me to go through them again. And granted, it's making them peppers. Because we're... Alright, plenty of hot, muggy weather ahead. Yes, I know for a fact it's gonna get hot, it's gonna get muggy eventually. So, I am going to thoroughly enjoy every ounce of nice weather we get in the now time. Which, incidentally, helps me do these streams, because I've done campfire cooking streams when it's been like 80 out, and those are less fun. These peppers are great. Usually supermarket bell peppers aren't like, they don't have like the best bit of sweetness to them. But this one, man, this one's sweet. It's great. And if anyone's concerned about me using these in the tomato soup, they're not going into the tomato soup. I'm actually prepping these for the grilled cheese, but I want to go ahead and get all the veg prepped prior to we actually start cooking. Okay. Did I cut you enough? Barely enough. Just barely gets the job done. These... I just want some like, nice strips. Pepper. That'd be really great. Something real nice to saute for the grilled cheese. Granted, I also have to resist the temptation to snack on these because, holy smokes, these are pretty good. Little bits like this right here. Try those out. Granted, one of the things about running service work and stuff I've been doing, like, more here recently, as far as, like, job stuff is concerned. And some people out there have a lot better tomato game than me right now. Because my tomatoes are still a little bit on the itty-bitty side. And seeing people with, like, 2-foot tall tomatoes is kind of making me a little bit jelly. Oh, we have our third and final veg. Carrot. Which, do I have a smaller bit? And we'll just go with the one carrot. So this tomato soup recipe actually calls for some grated carrot. So we're going to go ahead and get this grated up right quick. And also try not to cut myself on the grater, because that's a very easy thing to do with the grater. The fire's doing alright for now, but worry about too much. Granted, speaking of carrots are also like a really good, garden fresh, but man, getting the seeds to actually germinate for you is not fun. Carrots just do not like to germinate. At least not for me. I've had a few alright successes with carrots. Granted, unfortunately, those successes have been enough to convince me that garden fresh carrots are indeed superior to store-bought. Whereas, like onions, I can't tell the difference. Granted, I still try to grow onions because if things really got pushed to shove, I want to be able to know how to cultivate onions. Onions are far too important of a food item to not know how to grow. And actually, that yielded about the amount of shredded carrot I was looking for. Let's try to get as much as I can off the grater. Get all this wonderful goodness up into our bowl. Cool. So, we've got vegetables prepped. For the most part. I'm not liking what my fire's doing a little bit, so we're gonna throw a little bit of extra wood on it. That way we have a good bit of heat going. Then next up is adjusting my rebar. Actually, I should probably grab the glove for the grate. I'll just throw the grate up on there. Oh, that grate's already warm. Do this, there. And let's see. Let's try to get these a little bit more even. Bada bang, bada boom. There's a grate. Yeah, nice placement. Yeah, I kind of actually experimented a little bit with my camera setup. Tried to bring a little bit. I felt like some of the past ones have been like a little too focused on fire, whereas I wanted a little bit more focus on like up here. Up where the food's prepared and eventually shown. So we're gonna be hitting handy dandy skillet with a little bit of oil. And then once that oil starts to sizzle up, we're gonna throw the onions in. And we're gonna just be cooking with a whole bunch of veg. We're gonna be utilizing vegetable stock. All good things. And also speaking of tomatoes. So I basically freeze big chunks of tomato juice. I freezed a whole bunch for my salsa that I made. And I had leftovers. And some of those I used for taco soup, which I've made previously here on the channel. But I'm actually down to my last two. This is one of them. And I've been defrosting this over the course of 3 days in the fridge. And this is actually going to be where our tomatoey goodness is going to come from. For those who take a look at the recipe, you're going to see that the recipe calls for like fresh whole tomatoes. I've already got juiced tomatoes, and if I think I need to add a little bit more tomatoiness, I've got some tomato paste. But I feel like this is going to be sufficient for me. I might, because I'm going to make this recipe as close to original as possible, but if I can, like, dial down the volume a little bit, I'm going to do so, because I'm one human being. Only so much food I can consume. Sometimes after some of these streams, I end up with like a lot of food. And I'm also just trying to get ingredients ready. Like good old balsamic vinegar. And also the absolute legend that is garlic. Because garlic is always the legend. Or at least a legend in my eyes. Ooh, okay. Oil's heated up enough. Go ahead and add our onions. Ooh. Yeah. Real nice sizzle. Good. And a food manipulating device. And I also want to rest on a clean surface. Actually, you know what? I originally banished the bowl that held the onions, and now that bowl is going to hold the spatula. So let's give this a bit of a stir here. Because I kind of do also want to like spread that oil out a little bit. So we're going to cook the onions. And they're cooked through. Kind of soften them up. Get them a little bit caramelized, not a whole lot. Then we'll add the carrots and cook that briefly. And then we're gonna start adding our tomato juice. And then we're gonna also add I think I add garlic after carrots. I don't know. I watched the video like right before stream, and now I'm live and I'm like, what exactly was my order again? But this is still going to be good. This is going to be good. Actually, I should grab Pork. Clean that off if I need to do so. But yeah, weather's been great. For those who may or may not seen, I'm a guy who grows my own hops, and also speaking of like crops that I've been doing, well, the hops are just. I've got a couple hop vines that are probably getting. There's a couple that are definitely over 8 feet tall now, because I recently upgraded my trellis from like 10 to 13 feet of height, and now it is fully. Now everything has around 15 feet of height, which is a pretty big upgrade. So, really looking forward to watching those hops climb up the trellis, which coincidentally I can also just like see right in front of me. The thing I actually look at when I look straight up in front of me is the hop trellis. Yeah. Ah, that's lovely. You gotta love sauteing onions. Sauteing onions is great. It's great. And it's also just like one of my I don't know, it's also just like a really fun part in the cooking process. Because you're just like, it's simple. It's simple. I like simple. Simple is good. Some people like complicated, but I like simple. That's where I lie. On the spectrum of everything is I prefer to keep it simple. That's how I not make mistakes. Okay. Still decent. Yeah, that's still decent enough. Okay, I'm a little bit thirsty. I'm gonna have some water. Good stuff. But yeah, I'm also... well... not sure. I yap about... I don't know if I want to yap about some of my future projects too much, because one of the big future projects, which I was originally thinking about getting a little bit more... actually thinking about getting a start on it now. But with the way things are with my IRL schedule, I don't think that's a good idea to do right now. So some stuff is just going to be kind of just like... kind of... still up in the air. As far as when I start it. I mean, I got a decent amount of materials for it, but I just gotta wait for it when I get the right time, because that project's also going to be a big project, because I do want to make like a full how-to video, how to build the EPA woodshed, versus my here's the steps I went through to build the EPA woodshed video. So I wanna like level that up, and I have the materials. I have nearly all the materials for the build a second woodshed. I need carriage bolts. I need carriage bolts, maybe deck screws, and the footers for the post. I just need to grab those at some point. Okay. So they're starting to brown up nicely. Ooh, also starting to smell nice too. So we're just gonna let let's see, how about we let those cook for just a little bit longer. And then we'll throw the carrots in, and then keep the process going. But yeah, gotta say, been pretty good. Oh wait, has it been since then? I think it's been since then. trying to think when I did the one. So when I actually made leftover BLTs with because I had bacon left over from that stream. Sunday night, I was gonna make those leftovers over the fire pit just because I had like all my ingredients downstairs. But it was actually having there was a light rain occurring then, and yeah, my little shade sail that I have, that actually does a really good job of keeping the rain off like the fire pit and like this little like area I have. So I was really happy to see that like in action on Sunday. So I'd say we've reached a good point. Let's go ahead and hit with the carrots. Get the carrots stirred in. Pull off to the side. And let's go ahead and get these carrots incorporated. So I don't think we're definitely not gonna be cooking carrots as long as onions. They're shredded. Not as much surface area, they'll cook fairly quickly. We'll just cook them a little bit, kind of try to sweeten them up. Do this. Yeah, I want that. This has got a long handle. I don't want it like laying off the edge because otherwise it might try to like leave my little work surface. I don't want it to leave the work surface. It just makes things more awkward, and I'm awkward enough as is. Yeah, it's also like another thing I need to look into. I actually mowed my yard yesterday. Yeah, yesterday. And when I was mowing it, I have a bunch of goldenrod plants like around the homestead. And nearly all my goldenrod, nearly all of it, like utterly and completely, has these aphids on it. And I need to look into that at some point. But it was just weird because it was like, huh, there's like aphids on this goldenrod. And then I looked at another goldenrod, and then I looked at another one. Then I started looking at like separate plantings because like I was mowing the grass. I was being all over the yard. All the goldenrod has aphids on it. And those aphids better not get on my crops, or otherwise we're going to have problems with aphids. Now, granted, I also grow a fair amount of milkweed. And my milkweed usually every season attracts a fair number of milkweed sapsuckers, which they don't really do too much to harm the plants and kind of just benign. It's just kind of weird because like the growing tips of the plants will just be like covered in these like sap-sucking bugs. But that's the milkweeds, and the milkweeds are just, they're coming in. I've got one butterfly weed that's about to blossom, which will be nice, and I should actually do that, is actually like take pictures of some of the like flowers that are blooming and whatnot. Some of the stuff I grow, because I actually got my first echinacea flowers this week on some of the plants. But yeah, I think we're reaching a good point to add garlic. Now remember, chat, and this will come up on the test. When asked what is the correct amount of garlic, the answer is always yes. The answer is always yes when it comes to what is the right amount of garlic. You just add garlic and don't stop. So we've got that. I'll just stir that in, incorporate it. So so far so good on the heat. Definitely don't look like I'm burning anything, so very encouraging there. And I think after we let that cook for a little bit, we'll then actually add the star, the tomato. Tomato of goodness. Brandon, I gotta say, that's actually looking really good right now. The pot over there. I gotta say, that's looking like we're gonna have a really good foundation for a dish. Also, the cabbage is coming along pretty nicely too. My second sowing of lettuce has been a little bit slow, but I think that's also because, like, I feel like my in-ground beds might be a little lacking in nitrogen. They're slowly coming along. Slowly coming along. And I still am, like, I'm still getting a fair amount of lettuce from my first sowing I did, like, way back in the early March. Like, I actually sowed it in the cold frame. Yeah, we've gone beyond cold frame weather, though. That second sowing will hopefully come in just in time as the first sowings come out, and then I actually have a third round of lettuce that I'm gonna plan out probably sometime in the next week. That might actually be part of my weekend chores, actually, is getting the next round of lettuce planted. So I'd say we're doing pretty good. Let's go ahead, start actually making some soup. And also with that, because we're also going to be like adding a lot more stuff. Stay. That's pretty good. I should check my strawberries tomorrow. Oh, I gotta start cucumbers too. Yeah, okay. I've actually never been big on cucumbers, so I've never really worked with cucumbers before. Granted, they're reasonably alright in a salad. Let's see. Ooh. There. That in. Yeah. There we go. Actually, since we now actually have a bit more of a proper soup, go ahead and give that a stir. There we go. Actually, time for our next ingredient. Bay leaves. It with 2 bay leaves. Yeah, I think I'm actually getting like pretty low on my. A lot of Asian dishes use it as a garnish or a salad itself. That's how I usually use. Ah, okay. So with the bay leaves in, I'm gonna go ahead and hit this with a good amount of pepper. Pepper will be added to taste. I can adjust that later. Then also hit this with sea salt. And it may have turned the heat up a little too much. But that is going to be fine though. Okay, so that's salt in. Salt off to the side. And now it's time for our good friend, balsamic vinegar. one of these days I should try growing like cucumbers as a experiment. That's usually how I get some of my crops that I grow, is I'll just grow it on a whim, or is like just like, oh hey, this exists, let's grow it type thing. Let's go ahead and incorporate what we have. Kind of also try to even out that heat a little bit. I have two things that need to go back in my cooler. I'm going to do that quickly. You. Okay, cool. So I'd say starting to get a pretty decent boil on soup. So we're gonna go ahead and just add some vegetable stock. Okay, so this is also a thing where the recipe calls for 3 cups of stock. I'm gonna just use 2, primarily because I just wanna not make too much food. And I also think I'm a little bit shy on my tomato amount. We're gonna get this added in there. Which, by the way, for this 2-pound package, 2 cups is gonna be just basically half the package. That is the vegetable stocking. You're much reasonably through most of the tomato soup. I don't think I have any ingredients left to hit it with. Other than we're probably going to let this simmer and cook for a while. Just because I do think that I really want the... Well, one, to let the flavors meld together, and also 2, to kind of reduce it a little bit. Also because this is a lot of food right now. This really is a lot of food right now. And I would like a slightly reduced amount of food. Okay. If I actually started growing cucumber, that would actually be another crop I would also have to trellis. Granted, I actually tried net trellising for my peas this year, where it's basically jute twine, but it's kind of like in like a largish grid pattern. I gotta say I like it. Versus having to run like individual strands of twine. It was actually kind of a reasonably nice upgrade, and kind of like, I need, this is definitely something I need to invest a bit more in. Granted, I'm also still kicking around the idea of buying some, like cattle fences, and then using those to grow my peas on. And maybe even some of my tomatoes. Because for my raised bed tomatoes, I would like to have something like that, but I'll need to be a bit shorter because my raised beds are about, I think, like 5-6-ish feet long, whereas my in-ground heroes, I think I have those at around 15 feet. Roughly the size on those. Yeah, that's I definitely want that soup to thicken up. And that's also another thing you can grow on that sort of... I have seen like cucumbers grown on that style of like fencing before. And I'm also wondering what other things am I gonna eventually adventurously grow. Because like cabbage started out as like something I never really ate much of, but I was like, let's try growing it, see how it does, and it did reasonably all right. Whereas like potatoes, granted, I do potatoes in containers. And I gotta say, doing potatoes in containers is actually real fun. Which is going to be really fun in probably about, I reckon, 2 more months. We'll actually harvest potatoes on stream. I actually had a lot of fun doing that last year, and I'm looking forward to doing that again this year. Is doing a good old potato harvest. And also, one of my favorite anime, Campfire Cooking in Another World, the new season, well, it actually got like a release trailer a couple days ago, and I am super stoked for it. I am so incredibly stoked for it. Partially also because, like, oh, hey, look, another source of content. But it'll be also a lot of fun to... Well, one, the show's fun to watch, but also, like, it's also helped inspire any of the recipes I've tried out on here. And also watching it may have been one of the big reasons why I actually tried doing this. And I gotta say, I actually really enjoy doing these campfire cooking streams. It's definitely been a nice thing, because even if it seems like this is something I've kind of been doing for a while, this is actually a relatively new thing in my life. This was actually a thing that I was inspired as part of, like, well, I was like thinking about stuff and was, what would be something fun to do on stream? What would be something fun to do? And I actually did curry as just a straight cooking stream, which, granted, I didn't make that on a propane burner, but that was just just doing a straight cooking stream, which was reasonably fun. I actually had a reasonable bit of fun doing that. But I gotta say, like, doing these campfire cooking streams, definitely another level of fun versus just a standard cooking. But I also do really like the fact that I am just like a very niche VTuber right now. And also have to yap about something while I watch this tomato soup boil. My head is also pretty empty, because we're reasonable amount through the week, so in a few more days I'll be able to recharge with the weekend once more. Granted, I'm also seeing some of this foam here. Thinking I should do something about it. Granted, I'm gonna give this a bit of a smell. Oh my goodness. Smells amazing. Boil's getting a little too frothy. We want to simmer. So, see what I can do. Do more if I bring this back a bit. Get some of my firewood a bit further away from my fire. Well, from my food. I should actually do a pretty good job of lowering the heat a little. Scum I want to clean up. But so far, tomato soup smells amazing. Definitely very happy with how this recipe is turning out so far, so hopefully I did a reasonably good job of getting the heat turned down. Granted, I could also do other options. Like just physically backing the pot away from my heat. And let's see, do I have to move my grate like that? And then I would also have the outline. Handle. I guess I'm not the only one who's thinking it's now a good time to burn. Because I got a neighbor starting a fire. Yeah, they are certainly looking a lot less successful than where I was this morning. Oh, evening. It's evening now. It's firmly evening now. It's evening and I'm hungry. Oh yeah, those peppers are great. And it looks like we actually got the dialed down pretty nicely. That actually looks like a pretty good simmer. Don't have too much scum. Reduce it. I'll lose too much, man. Soup's good. Or at least smell-wise, it's good. Ooh. Oh, man. Well, it looks like I'm gonna have some good food here in the wall. Say the heat's going good. We're just gonna let it do its thing for a while because I do want to have everything cooked down. If it gets too hot, no good. Or like too warm. But granted, I also do want to think about my steps moving forward for grilled cheese. Because for grilled cheese, I get to bust out one of my big things, which has actually been a while since I've used it on one of these streams, but I've been thinking, I was like, man, it's been a while since I used that thing. I should bring that thing out again. So eventually you guys are going to see the big skillet I have. And it's a big skillet. Go ahead, give the tomato soup a stir. Making sure keep that heat as even as we can. Still feels a little bit liquidy, so I'm just gonna let this simmer for probably a little while longer. Honestly, ideally, I am thinking around the 10-minute mark. We're gonna let this simmer. Because actually, once we get into the grilled cheese portion of tonight's stream, things are going to move a lot more quickly. That big iron on your hip stove? Oh no, this is a frying pan. This is a very, very large frying... Well, so this was actually a frying pan that my uncle bought for family cooking events. Well, actually, when we went camping, he bought it because we needed to make that amount of fried potatoes, because fried potatoes were like a staple of Yamagawa family breakfasts. So this was a solution for a period of time. However, though, as with all things, history moves forward. And what history moving forward has done is now half my family owns Blackstones, and now we cook potatoes on the Blackstones. Which, not gonna lie, standard grill, which coincidentally, I have a standard grill. Like a regular grill. Well, actually, that's where this grill grate's from. I have that. I don't use it. Well, so I've used my grill one time in like 5 years. And that was when I was restoring my cast iron tea kettle. When I was doing the seasoning layers on it, I did the seasoning in the grill. Because it's a cast iron tea kettle, I needed like an enclosed place to season it. Versus a cast iron skillet, I can season that on the fire. So, I did all my seasoning with the grill. And that is the only time I have used a conventional grill. Granted, a Blackstone, that's the thing I want, but I have plenty of cooking ability and surfaces right now, so a Blackstone will probably remain a want. It's not a need. I don't need it to make food. I can make food without the Blackstone. But the Blackstone's nice to have, and it's like portable, and for some of the family that camps more, I can definitely see that being a better investment for them. But for me, especially when you're like preparing food for like a whole family, considering some of my extended family have decided to have 6 kids, sure, you need to feed that many mouths. Get yourself a nice big Blackstone and just cook up everything you can. You can always just throw an iron plate over the fire. Essentially, that's what I'm going to be doing. Is throwing an iron plate over a fire. It's just my iron plate is in carbon steel skillet form. But yeah. So with the introduction of the Blackstones, the use of this skillet fell out of favor, and it stopped showing up the family camping events. Well, I eventually noticed it in my grandpa's shop after he passed away. And when I saw it, I looked at my grandma and I'm like, Grandma, what's that doing there? And and Grandma was like, oh, Matt, oh, your uncle doesn't want it anymore. And so we threw it in the shop to sell it, and I'm like, can I have it? And she gave me the okay, so I can now say, amongst my family heirlooms, I have the family Campfire frying pan, which is going to eventually show up at some point, probably like 5 more minutes. Granted, in 5 more minutes, I also have to like manipulate stuff, because I'm probably going to take this grate, turn it, have like a little area over here, and there I'm going to just have the soup be off to the side and let that continue doing its thing. And then I probably need to have my rebar here. Those get those spaced out a little bit more. And yeah, we'll have the big family frying pan. Granted, to give a little bit of perspective on how big this frying pan is, I have like there's a hole on the handle, and that hole has a carabiner in it. I have it on an eye hook on one of my joists in the basement. That's how I usually store it. If you speak to the skillet, like if you speak at the skillet, it rings like a gong. And it is one of the funniest and neatest things about this thing as a utensil. Is the fact that if you speak to it, it will ring truth back to you. I don't know necessarily truth, but it will ring back to you. Which is just funny. Which is funny enough. How I found out about it was I was actually working downstairs in the basement where I have it in storage. And I was like, like doing stuff, making like a little bit of noise. I could occasionally hear some ringing. I was like, what's ringing? I'm not like... I was thinking I wasn't interacting with any metal, but I was through vibrations. Because as I was like making noise and such, the cast iron skillet was ringing. It's been a while since I had a snack. Damn, I can't wait to saute those peppers. I really can't wait to saute those peppers. They're gonna be good. So, I think we're doing pretty good. I need to grab my manipulator of hot stuff device. And I should also be safe. Nothing says sad cooking stream like sending your food into your fire. So, out of an overflowing abundance of caution, we're picking this up off to the side. Try to get this go in the direction I want it to. Perfect, perfect, perfect. That is where that is going to hang out. Let's see, fire's starting to look a little low. So I'm gonna roll that log a little bit back. So that way we can keep a good simmer heat on that. Got plenty of heat down here. Just gonna throw one log right in. With that, I think we're set up. I think I have a reasonable setup. It's been a while since I've used this thing. And I think this is also my first time using this frying pan with another pan on the fire. So here we go. Oh. Actually, I'm gonna get you to gong for the mic. But here it is. It's an absolute massive son of a gun. But this is the Yamagawa clan's ancestral campfire cooking skillet in all its glory. Now, for perspective on like this, oh, that's wild. I wonder why it does that. I think it gongs because it's about the size of a gong. So for perspective, this skillet, granted, unfortunately, I have measured it, and unfortunately, even while being manufactured in America, this thing's dimensioned in metric. The frying pan is half a meter in diameter. Diameter is half a meter, and the handle, this handle is a full meter long. This is like this is stupidly heavy anime skillet. And I love this thing. I love this thing dearly. Because it's my family's stupidly big, heavy skillet. Granted, don't think I like my level. Because I am definitely tilted this way, away from me. I could live with tilted towards me. So, what I'm gonna do, let's try and get this one piece of rebar out. And I think what we'll do... Okay, so if I completely get rid of it, I get tilted that way. Okay. Okay, so I think I have it reasonably set up. So, let's do some peppers. So we're gonna go ahead and let these get sauteed up nicely. And we'll let the magic oil show us its truth. And the magic oil says, we are indeed tilted away from me. One of these days I'm going to level this fire pit. It's not level now. But I can manipulate my oil, though. Get a good glaze. Is that falling in? That feels like it's falling in. Okay. The peppers are going to be cooked. So, we're going to actually be making 2 grilled cheeses tonight. One grilled cheese is going to be a basic standard grilled cheese. The other grilled cheese is going to be a... What is it? I think it's like a... Herbalicious is what it calls it. I have an 18-inch skillet, but that handle is a normal length. Ah, okay. Yeah, an 18-inch skillet's still... Like, an 18-inch skillet's, like, reasonable for a home skillet. Oh, another bit of wood back over there. And... I just can't see the sick pepper action. Granted, I also can't see all my peppers. So we're going to give these a nice good saute. And then once that's done, I'll return them to their magic bowl. Hey, Fire, I saw that snap, crackle, pop. And then we will actually make the first simple grilled cheese, which we're going to it's just going to be a simple cheddar cheese grilled cheese. We'll make that because the soup, I still think, is a little bit on the watery side. Granted, we're probably going to be cooking grilled. I'm anticipating we're going to be spending 20-ish minutes on 2 grilled cheeses because we're actually going to make both before I start eating. Granted, one of the fun things I really do like about having access to something like this, at least as far as like the size of skillet and such, is one of these days, don't know when, I am definitely wanting to do a Mongolian stir-fry stream with this thing. Because this thing just gives me the area. Because if I try to... Actually, I have a phone. I have a phone. So if I've got half a meter diameter, so if I've got 0.5 is my radius of a meter, then times that squared times by pi, I nearly have... Whoa, okay, that one was violent. I nearly have 20% of a square meter in cooking area, which is a pretty good amount. Come on, pick up some oil. Since all the oil's over there. Which, granted, that also means all my... Because when we start doing the grilled cheeses, all the butter's going to end up over there, so... It is kind of one of the downsides of this skillet, is that it's built in such a way where the center's higher than the edges. So if I just throw, like, a little bit of oil or something, it all pulls around the edges. So that is the one downside of this technology I have. Woo! But I do love this thing. Granted, unfortunately, some of my love for this thing is just like, ooh, this is a thing I actually own. I just own, like, basically a giant anime skillet. Granted, nice sizzling sounds. Nice. Nice food being cooked sounds. Good day, good day. Really good day. Granted, also, like, just today, overall, has been kind of a good day. Other than the amount of traffic I had to get through to get home, it's been a good day. Been a good day. Okay, let's see here. Oh yeah, yeah. It is definitely time to stir some peppers. They're gonna get cooked fairly nicely. I wonder if I can move them to this and get them a little bit more in the center. You might get a little... Okay, you guys did not see that, but that was neat. Because my little spatula here rolled off towards the edge, and then it just balanced for a while, which was neat. And also another downside is that this also makes it hard for me to manipulate my fire. So I might want to consider easing up my level of fire I got going on here. I will. Hey, is that dipping? It should be on their own. Whoa. And that is an issue with the handle. The handle's too long and I don't have enough support on one side. Yep, that's my problem. And this thing is finicky and fine-tuned. Stay. Stay. So I tried to get my... firewood more to the edges of the fire pit. Just to kind of create a little bit more of a cooler spot in the center. Just so that way I'm heating it, and then kind of just letting the heat of the metal like conduct the heat a little bit more evenly. But I think these are More than well done. Let's gather them up. If I can gather them up, actually. I have a ladle. Ladle, are you a better utensil for this? Yes. As anticipated. Okay. All of them? Oh, one more. One straggler. Oh, that is going to be sauteed peppers for later. I'm going to actually let those cool and try them at some point. So, I think my skillet's a little too hot. I'm going to hit it with some water. And all that's to do is to cool it. I need to cool this down for our next little bit of fun here. Because we're going to be hitting this thing with a fair amount of butter. I don't want it to be too hot, because if the skillet's too hot, my butter's not only going to melt, it's also going to... Butter's not only just going to melt, it's going to just burn. So I kind of wanted to just chill it out a little bit. So I don't have a whole lot of butter left. So I'm going to just do... Hey, you. Just melt. Now it's grilled cheese time. I was not expecting that to do that quickly. Probably should have put down my fire a little bit more. So, in a well-buttered skillet, throw this bread on. Then for our first grilled cheese here, we're going to be using some cheddar cheese. I still think my pie. I'm going to just take you off for now. I do not like my heat's doing. I think I got too much going on. Also, I need my knife. I tried trusting the pool tab, and the pool tab betrayed me. Ah, haha, success. You will not keep this American from his cheese. And I'm also kind of to be cognizant of the fact that holes at this point. And at one, I should have leveled my skillet, and two, probably should have used a separate frying pan. Which I might switch out frying pans for the second one. And then we'll just hit it with a generous helping of cheesy goodness. myself to some of that cheese. And then I'm actually going to use the healed piece. Let's do that. It's also been a while since I stirred the soup. Man, that soup's actually starting to thicken up nicely. It's gonna be really good here in a bit. Let's see. Okay. Oh. For the second grilled cheese, I'm definitely going to be using my other frying pan. Because, yeah. This thing's being way too finicky. That, and also, I kind of forgot about the fact that any liquid I put in it pulls at the edges, and I lose all my butter that way. And that's an undesirable outcome. So, sorry for being real awkward for a little while there, but I feel like we've recovered. We'll be alright with this, like, just standard grilled cheese. Just being not as quite as buttery and whatnot, if you will. Oh, but for the second one, I do have my like standard cast iron skillet that's been typical skillet that I've been using. We'll switch to that. Also, my soup's like really slowed down on that simmer. I mean, it's still simmering, just not doing a whole lot of simmering. Oh, let's see. I think that's enough for one side. And flip. Yep, that was definitely more than enough cooking for one side. Granted, I'm not sure if some people like their grilled cheeses looking like this, but not sure if that's desirable for some. So we'll just. I think I'll just let 2 minutes. We'll just do 2 minutes on this one. I'd rather end up with food that like I actually want to eat. We kind of lost a lot of that butter early on, unfortunately. Granted, while that's cooking, I do want to take a look at my second grilled cheese. Okay. So I think for the second grilled cheese, rather than build it on the skillet, I'll build it up on a plate, and then we'll send it out to we'll send it onto the skillet when we're ready for it. Okay. I need some water. And how about now? And side 2. Reasonably good. Reasonably good. Nothing terrible. We got some cheesy gooiness. Then I'm going to just let this sit briefly here. This is going to go here. And then we're going to be switching out frying pans. There we go. Yeah, that frying pan was not doing me any favors. How's our fire looking? Fire's looking. We'll build up a little bit of an area here. Piece of firewood here. I'll try to make kind of a cool spot, kind of a warmer spot. Then fur. Gonna get a little bit more on there. Let's see if everything's reasonably well supported. Okay. Okay. I think we're doing good. Let's build a grilled cheese. Actually, wait a second. I told myself I would have one of these when it cooled down. Oh, good. First grilled cheese, away. Next. So this is going to be like the... Oh! I miscounted my bread slices. Darn. I'm left with one bread slice. How dare they do this to me? Oh. We're going to go ahead and just pile on our sauteed peppers here. Because this one's going to have some stuff to it. Because we're going to kind of do a, I think a little recipe guide thing. Called it a, Herbalicious grilled cheese, so we'll hit it with a reasonably generous amount of peppers. And yeah. We're also going to hit it with some good old pesto sauce. Ooh. Where was my knife? Butter knife. Hello, knife. And I'm gonna just be a monster here with it. Be very generous. Then and just try to hit up some of the other areas a little bit. But kind of like the idea of building this before we throw it on there. So that looks like some good eating. But we're not done yet. Well, actually, wait a second. Wait, was that my phone? No. Okay. We're gonna hit this up with some parsley flakes. Just a nice little generous helping of that. And then we're gonna be throwing 2 cheeses at this bad boy. Cheese number 1, mozzarella. So, let's try to get what could properly be considered an American amount of cheese on this. Remember, we gotta go for freedom or nothing. Freedom or nothing. And then I also want to try some. Yeah! Okay. And then our second choose is Parmesan. Yes. Oh, wait. Is that pulling the... Is it like a... Oh no. Oh no. Oh wait. Yay! Victory! Victory! So we're just gonna hit this with like the, once again, the American amount of Parmesan. Or just the American amount of cheese, because this is America. Where we have a really poor relationship with dairy because of government subsidies that have been lobbied for. But yes. Here's the monstrosity. And I'm gonna just kind of put it there. Kind of have a pepper and cheese sandwich quickly. Oh boy, I love my pepper and cheese sandwiches. But also the KFC double down. So, let's go ahead and give the soup a stir. I don't wanna think I've forgotten it. I haven't forgotten about you. I think I'm gonna like you more than grilled cheese. And have our last little bit of butter here. And that's gonna go to the cast iron skillet. Now the cast iron skillet, I haven't preheated it, so it's probably gonna take a minute. But once the butter melts, we're gonna throw our grilled cheese on there. Man. Part of me wants to apologize for snacking, but I haven't eaten since lunch because, well, I'm making 2 grilled cheese sandwiches, and this is safely considered a large amount of food. So I've been trying to be hungry, and I'm hungry. But yeah, we're actually going to get a real nice coating of butter. So the second grilled cheese is going to truly be a triple threat of dairy. With the mozzarella, the Parmesan, and their big bad backup buddy butter. Better watch out. Because this dairy is coming from my cholesterol levels. But it's fine, because I like eating veg, too. It's like all things in life, you gotta have a balance. It's just for a brief moment in time. My balance is just gonna be on the fatty dairy side. Great, I'm still eating peppers though. Great, I should have lightly salted these. But these are not why we're here. This and that, those are reasons why we're here. These are what we want to be amazing. Ooh. But wow, I didn't think this cast iron skillet would take this long to heat up. Granted, it makes me glad I actually threw a little bit of extra firewood on it just now. Because I think we're going to let it heat up. I want to see a little bit more bubbling from the butter. Because we're close. Because once I start to see a little bit more of that like water starting to cook out of the butter, we're going to start grilling some cheese. And then I might have to might have to take it off the heat a little bit. I'm still pretty happy with how the soup's doing. Soup's doing really well. It's been smelling great. It's been tempting me this whole time. Okay. And there we go. The grilling's begun. And also, I'm going to try to park off all this cheese to the side. I think what I want to do for this cheese is mix it into the soup when the soup's done. I think that would be a good way to use this cheese up. Because we don't waste cheese, which also, speaking of wasting cheese, I have some cheese I need to return to the icebox. So, pardon me for briefly taking away my attention. But I've got a lot of cheese left, and it's definitely going to be going on some salads. And since I've thankfully nearly used up all my bread, down to one slice, we have just one slice left. But yeah. Let's see. And I still think that cast iron's still trying to really heat up. But I do have a good amount of heat, so I'm sure it's just one of these things where it's gonna like slowly heat up. So I'm just gonna have to just be a little watchy on it. Still, I have to figure out what to use the rest of this pesto sauce on. I've actually never really used much of it, historically. So, granted, I might also try a little bit of this in the soup later. Probably like the leftovers, because but when I like first try it, I kind of want to just like try it like as is, and then eventually I'll throw the cheese in, because tomatoes and cheese go together like two beans in a pod, like two peas in a pod. That's the saying. Oh. Awesome. Awesome. Wait a little. You want to go ahead. Cut this. But yeah, that's the basic grilled cheese. This is just standard grilled cheese. Okay. Oh, okay, that's what it is. That's what it is. Okay. For a brief second there, I was hearing what I feel like I could only describe as my neighbors communicating via Morse code via guns. And then I eventually picked up on the revving of an engine, and it's like, oh man, that is just a car that's having a really bad day. Just for a brief second there, I was like, unfortunately, gunshots are very normal where I live, because I basically live on the border of Redneckville. Granted, I really hope some of those people can actually... I hope they shoot deer around here, because those damn deer got into my hostas. I don't have very positive feelings about deer right now because they got into my hostas. Oh, I'm doing good. Welcome in, Avenir. I hope you're doing all right. But yeah, we're actually just grilling up our second grilled cheese. Enemies for life. I don't know if I would classify deer as enemies for life, but generally not a fan. I was able to deal my internship down to June 6th. Nice! Congratulations! Very nice! Good for you! Just 25 pages of report left. Nice! Way to go! I could never do that. I could never do that. I am... Well, I generally don't mind, like, filling out forms and doing, like, various paperwork like that. But, like, actually writing, cheese is so good. Yes. Yes. Cheese is great. Cheese is love. Cheese is life. Also, part of the components of being a red-blooded American is having an unhealthy relationship with cheese, which leads to people having uncomfortable conversations with their doctor about cholesterol. Because actually, last time I went to my doctor, he's like, your cholesterol's getting a little high, which it wasn't like super high, but it was a little high. Now, I generally don't eat too much. Ah, chat GTP. Okay, okay. That's certainly a way. I can do this palace report in 2 pages. Ah, okay. 25 pages, man. Oh my gosh, that soup smells amazing. Granted, at some point I also do have to get the bay leaves out of it. So really tempted to flip my sandwich and do the other side, but I don't think it's been quite as cooked as well yet. Didn't really do a whole lot of preheating with the skillet. So I think my heat's a bit on the low side, but that was better than earlier when we were cooking with the super massive skillet and the heat levels were far too high. Which, here's kind of the results from that. Which, it's pretty much surface level. Oh, we got some nice melted cheese in there, though. And this is actually just a basic... This is just a basic grilled cheese. So this is just cheddar cheese, 2 slices of bread, grilled. But this is going to be one of the things we're dipping in the wonderful tomato soup. So let's actually give this sandwich a flip. Okay. Don't separate. A little bit easier. Oh, wow. Okay. Confirms what I was suspecting. You know what? You know what cake skillet like? Oh, like a cake skillet? So, I need to... Definitely need... On the... I was expecting a bit more of a grill here, and... Yeah, I didn't quite get that. Also, it's a little bit on the soggy side. So we gotta, like, really get the heat turned up. I don't have any, Oh, pancake. Okay. I mean, you can make pancakes in all sorts of skillets. For a second, when you were talking about, like, a cake skillet, I was thinking, like, baking a cake. Which I don't have any cast iron that's, like... Well, I don't have any, like, dedicated cast iron for, like... Because you can get, like, bread loaf style cast iron for cooking. As far as baking is concerned, all I've got is my Dutch oven, which... slowly getting better at. Slowly. Eventually, one of these days, I'm going to get better with it. Okay, I see one of my bay leaves in my stew. Actually, I lost it? I lost it. Okay. You sound like you're getting hot enough. Get this grilled. And while you grill, I need to go hunting for bay leaves. I brought my slotted spoon for that. Oop, 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 oop. Yes! Bay leaf. One removed. I have 2 in my soup. Find the second one. I can't be getting that. Second one's really wanting to be elusive with me. Dare it. Okay. Well, I don't think I'll be successful in getting a bay leaf out of that. So, instead, since I actually want to have reasonably temperature soup when we eat, I'm going to start ladling soup. Soup's going to definitely need to cool down. Right now, it's definitely far too warm for consumption. And I'm pretty confident I'm pretty. Ooh. There it is, 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 there it is. That's the second bay leaf. Go away. Yippee. Wait. So that is the tomato soup that is now proceeding to chill to a temperature where I can eat it. I'm also going to snack on some sauteed peppers I used to make that sandwich. I'm going to be a little bit generous also with the other side, since my other side looked a little soggy. I might try to re-grill the other side of this grilled cheese, but I'm not entirely certain if I'm gonna follow through with that. Also, no. Also know for a fact I should probably take the soup off. So the soup's gonna hang out elsewhere, so it doesn't overcook or cook down too much. Okay, here's what this other side looks like. Sounds a lot better. Sounds like it's really sizzling. Yeah, that's better. That's better. That's what a grilled cheese should look like. So we're gonna let this do its thing for probably let that other side cook for about 3 minutes. More. And then once that's done, let's see, I want to have soup in fairly important position. And then we'll get our grilled cheeses and all that fun stuff. So Well, I dodged that bullet. I really should do something about maybe making my little bit of a streaming area a little bit more private. Because 2 neighbors just walked by and probably wondering what the hell I was doing over a fire pit, making food with an iPhone looking at me. And sound reasonably grilled other side. What is the flip reveal? Flip reveals reasonably good results. Great. Actually, can I see? I do a classic cut. Yeah. Not gonna do that. I'm not gonna risk it. Wait. I wasn't gonna do it because I didn't have a sharp enough knife, but I do have a sharper knife. Behold, sharper knife. I'm gonna get this grilled cheese cut before I worry about... Well, certainly more. Warm to a full. And... bang, ba boom. Here's the grilled cheese. Grilled cheese! Also, thinking about it, I do want to get my cast iron skillet off before all that remaining food burns into it. Wow. Yep, that definitely got warm. Bit of a campfire cooking stream. We don't got too much fire going on right now. Let's up the levels of fire. I don't have to manage food anymore. Yeah, that's... Go ahead and... Ooh, yeah. Do that. So, here is our grilled cheeses and tomato soup. So, first things first is I'm going to actually try the soup out. And hopefully the soup is not, like, destroyingly hot to taste buds. So, we'll just go with, like, a little bit. Oh my god. That's amazing. That is amazing. Okay. That's a 10 out of 10 soup. I can 100% recommend this recipe to anyone ever. That tomato soup is fire. It's literally fire. Oh my gosh. Amazing depth of flavor. Real nice acidicness from the tomatoes. But like with a real nice rich depth to it. You can definitely tell that the onions and the carrots are also like adding a little bit of sweetness, because like I added no sugar to this. This was just veg, balsamic vinegar, carrots, onions, all sorts of good things. Also, apparently my fire pit is also decided at this very moment to smoke a lot at me. So make a good stirring, will you? So that is. So now it's time for the grilled cheese. Oh wow. You know what? It might look bad, but this is alright. It's pretty alright grilled cheese. I don't regret what I've done this afternoon. Oh. This is just basic grilled cheese with cheddar cheese. Oh. Now we've reached the point where we must combine the two forces for good. And we dip the grilled cheese into the soup. Okay. I was a little awkward with the grilled cheeses, but man, the soup is just like phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. 10 out of 10. But with the grilled cheese, it I don't know what it is with the grilled cheese and tomato soup, but they just go together so well. So incredibly well. Okay. So, grilled cheese, tomato soup. Now let's try our quote-unquote herbalicious grilled cheese. So we got 2 slices of bread. In between those 2 slices of bread, we have sauteed bell peppers. We have pesto sauce. We have 2 types of cheese, mozzarella and Parmesan. So for now, just gonna take a bite of the grilled cheese as is. Oh my. Oh wow. Oh wow. Oh my God. Also with parsley flakes. I forgot the parsley flakes. Yeah, that too, man. Oh my goodness. Phenomenal. I love it. Oh my gosh. I feel like my execution skills with grilled cheese is a little lacking, but you know what? I'm still damn happy with how this food tastes, man. I'm still really happy about how this food tastes. And the thing is about this food, we get to take it to another level with our soup. So, give this a try. Oh. All the thumbs up, man. All the thumbs up. Like, oh my God. So incredibly good. Now, in the course of making this, we ended up with a little pile of extra cheese. So, this pile of extra cheese will go into our soup. Like so. Because we don't waste food here. I don't waste food. I never want to waste food. Wasting food is bad. But I'm now curious. Try the soup with a bit of cheese in it. Oh my God. That's amazing. Wow. This is genuinely amazing. I wasn't expecting today to end up being like this good, but oh, it feels great when you gotta like it when a meal turns out better than you expect it would. I mean, granted, judging by the recipe I pulled up, it looked like a pretty good. It looks solidly, and I'll be happy with it. This, I'm beyond happy. I mean, especially like the herbalicious grilled cheese, absolutely phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. So glad I made this today. Gosh, I need water. And if I'm being perfectly honest, the thing that can make this better would be beer, but I'm trying to take breaks from beer, so no beer for Sugi tonight. But that's fine. I have an absolutely phenomenal meal. So, speaking of having an absolutely phenomenal meal, I really want to dig in while this is still warm. So, with that, I want to say thank you very much, everyone who tuned in today. we made grilled cheeses with tomato soup. Well, tomato soup with grilled cheeses. I gotta say, like, this is pretty phenomenal. Phenomenal enough to the point where I will happily make this again for myself if I happen to have the ingredients lying around. So, thank you very much, everyone, for tuning in today. Oh, wait, I should probably also, like, plug next stream. So, next stream is going to be Saturday, roughly the same time tonight started, 6:30 EDT. I'm going to be making a signboard for my certified wildlife habitat. And so, that's going to be then. So, I'd like to wish everyone out there, may you have a wonderful rest of your day, evening, or night, whatever it is, wherever you are. And yeah, this is Suki Yamagawa, and hopefully I'll see you all in the next one. Okay, bye-bye.